Checkmate is recorded in front of a live engineer, Lou Kellen, putting the mic check in Checkmates.
A checkmate, a checkmate, a checkmate, a checkmate.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Checkmates, the show where we take a chessboard and we stack the pieces against each other. My name is Nick Welsh.
My name is Daniel Garrichter.
And for the next half an hour or so, we're going to take you along a spiraling hole of decisions, which may or may not destroy our friendship. I'm not too sure it's even hanging on by a thread at this stage.
Because it is time to get the chessboard for... Nick?
Oh, do I get to say the words?
Yeah, you do.
The Sopranos.
Classic HBO series. I think the most classic HBO series.
I watched it so obsessively because by the time we got to those last seasons, every single episode was better than any film out there. Like every single one, the investment in the characters I have never felt in any other show.
I know. In the beginning of the series, everybody talked about it like a respected sitcom. By the end, it was just like they'd gotten out of Philosophy 201 and they had really deep opinions about the universe.
It became quite a struggle to watch a lot of it. You realised that you really didn't like a lot of characters that you really felt you had for quite a few seasons.
Like especially the main characters. I hate them so much now.
None of them are good people.
No, they're terrible people.
I tell you the funniest thing, me and my dad once watched The Sopranos in reverse. Not like episode by episode, but we watched like the last season, then the season before, and watched classic characters come back to life right in front of us. Yeah.
And you kind of see how they got there too. You're like, yeah, they deserved that.
Yeah, it's a nice moment to stop feeling so much pain. And with that being said, let's get this kicked off. Our chessboard today is going to be the Sopranos family versus the New York family. And we're going to sit down straight away. Let's talk about our kings and queens on the Jersey family side.
It's always great when we do this because we're so aligned before we even start. But I think the king, obviously, for anybody who's ever seen the show, is Tony.
Zero resistance on this side, sir. Anything else would be tantamount to perdition. And
in the same sense, the way that the series progresses, like there's no real changes to this structure for the queen, Silvio.
I'm going with exactly the same thing. I don't know how. If you're talking about a purely mob-based chessboard, we're not including any families in this one. It can't be anyone except Silvio Dante. Loyal to the end.
To the end, but also understands what it means being in it for yourself is about. And like he is always in it for himself in the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he'll go against Tony a couple of times. Remember that time he had Pat Paolisi steal that truckload of tiles?
Yeah.
Just to see how it was playing with Christofah and Tony.
Right, yeah.
He's not a fool. He's not, but a classic example of a number two meaning to be a number two. You know?
Yeah, he assumes at several points that he's going to be the Don, but he doesn't quite ever get there, and so he's good just kind of maintaining.
Yeah, I like the fact as well he's another character that if Tony had listened to him on one of like 50 occasions at any point, maybe things wouldn't have panned out the way they did.
Right, and he pointedly doesn't on so many occasions.
For a consigliere, he really doesn't counsel to open ears. It's a damn shame. All right.
Yep.
So, Tony, Silvio, no question. Bishops, where you go?
Well, for the first bishop, I have to go with Uncle June.
Oh, I've got that too, sir. I got that too. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that he's like the spiritual advisor to Tony. Like Tony changes philosophically and spiritually so much because of his relationship with Uncle June.
That is very true. He does have a few near-death experiences because of him.
Yeah.
The first one snaps him out of depression, and the next one sends him down a tunnel of fever dream based commentary on a heaven and hell situation.
Yeah, where he's got a fedora the whole time.
He does have a fedora the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, plus as well, if you look back at it, Junior's right about almost everything after he gets taken out of power.
Yeah.
When they're talking about Tony B coming back, he says, he's just crazy if you ask me.
Yeah.
Talks about Janice, that's the one you need to watch out for. He's right about everyone.
He is. And all of these characters that are like very counter to Tony are like, they're disgusting people. So you hate them and you take Tony's side for that reason. But yeah, he's right about everything.
Yeah. So who's your other bishop?
I got Bobby Bacala.
There we go again. I've got Bobby too.
He's an action man near the end. But again, he becomes like a brother to Tony as it goes along.
Oh yeah, their relationship was peaking right up until Bobby absolutely smacked him around.
Yep, I love that episode.
Like two bulls going at it.
But eventually he kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, well, he gets lucky. Carmine distracts him, he gets a shot in. He just got out of the hospital. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I like Junior Bobby. Plus, I love the fact that connection of Junior and Bobby together. That whole period of time where he was Junior's right-hand man looking after him.
Yeah.
How many White Castles did you have on the way home? I can smell them on you. Okay, Knights. Who you got?
Paulie.
Paulie, obvious choice, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is an absolute warrior for the crew.
Yep. And it's really only at the end where he isn't like full on warpath for Tony.
Yeah, he kills a lot of people.
A lot of people.
he kills a lot of people in a very casual fashion. The Colombians.
Yep.
Mows them down. And not even the first time they killed the Colombians. The other time when he tapes the guy's mouth and sends him a message, totally unnecessarily filling him in on storyline before he shoots him. Classic character.
Yeah, I mean, he kills a lot of people, then tries to kill a lot of people. Yeah, he's the warpath guy.
He is. I'll take him, although he does want to avoid mass conflict because he got through the 70s by the skin of his balls.
That's right. And then, yep.
So if you've got Paulie on one side, I would struggle to believe that given the backline that we would have anyone else in there. Help me out.
Christofah
Moltisanti, of course.
Man, so if Paulie is like a more strategic warrior, Christopher is just a berserker.
Christopher is a man who is desperately trying to be bred to be something he could never be.
Right.
There was far too much. The idea that he would be the second down from Tony and that he put his orders through him is ludicrous.
Yeah, he really doesn't have the kind of, like, he's not in touch with reality at all.
Like he should be a bishop, but he just never could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why he'll permanently just be a knight.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, I've never felt an emptiness in me like when Tony kills Christopher. Like, I literally sat there in silence for 10 minutes trying to process the horrors that I had just witnessed.
It's so protracted too. Like, it just goes on and on, that scene.
It's the fact that Christopher's conscious enough to be able to look at him as it happens. Oh, I can't. Moving on.
Ooh.
Right, our rooks. Now, I think we may differ a little here because I took a little peek at your list, sir.
First sign of conflict.
For me, it's Satriel's.
For you, it's Satriel's. And when I heard you give this idea, I was like, yeah. And so my choice is actually the Bing sign.
Okay, here's my problem with it. I'll tell you what it is. All of the stuff important that happens at the Bing happens inside the Bing, par Silvio getting shot, right?
Yeah.
So the outside isn't the imagery. The outside of Satriel's, where they're all sat outside and so many great scenes have happened. That's the classic image.
Yeah, it's the idealized version of the mafia.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done. We'll say Satriel's on the corners.
Yeah, because the Bing is just, it's the worst side of the mafia. The most horrible, violent acts often happen at the Bing.
This is true. Okay, all right, pawns. Let's get to it. I'll tell you what. You do one, I'll do one.
All right, so my first pawn is Tony Blundetto.
Tony Blundetto. Good choice. Solid. Yeah, no. Tony's he's a hard character not to feel sorry for at times, but at the same time a man who makes continually awful decisions.
He makes awful decisions for sure. but he makes the worst ones based on Tony. He would have had a chance somewhat if it weren't for the things he does for Tony.
He finds that bag of money, right, with his wife.
Yeah.
And he spends it all on nice suits and gambling and stuff and gets a taste for it. I mean, he'd really put the effort in trying to go straight, I guess.
Yeah, and he just keeps falling off more and more for it. But like, when Tony kills him, you are kind of manipulated to see it as like a mercy kill. It's not. He's just served his purpose, and that's it. He's a pawn.
Okay, so my next pick, I'm going with Furio.
Yeah, sometimes I think he should be a knight, but I've also got him as a pawn.
Yeah, my problem with him is, like, he might have been higher in the scale. He may very well could have hit a knight status if not for the fact that he was gone and out of the graces with the family. And I know time structure doesn't make an awful lot of sense here, as it will become more apparent as we go further down this pawn list. But no, I think a pawn is fair for him.
Yeah.
His storyline wasn't. I mean, he did a lot of good things for Tony.
He did.
When he smashed up that brothel. Goodbye. Oh.
You're not supposed to laugh at it, but god damn it.
Tony on the phone to his therapist outside. Okay, so Furio's in just on the basis of his hair and shirts alone.
Stupid a fucking game.
Alright.
Sorry.
Who you got?
Alright, so we've got Tony and we've got I've got Vito.
Vito Spatter 4. Oh no, I'll go for it. Long-term character, emerged in the early stages as an extra in the scene where Christofah gets to shoot someone in the foot for revenge for a different film.
That's right. Has one of the most tragic endings in the entire series.
Oh, it's true. It's awful. Because people don't... It's funny, okay? And I'm a big YouTuber. I'll go on there and look up everything. No one puts up clips of his idyllic little life he briefly leads in that little town. I thought that story was kind of pretty.
I know. It would have been nicer to show that side of it, but yeah.
I will say I did feel less bad about his death every time I remember that guy he shoots in the back of the head for crashing into his car when he's on his escape. Because that's just the most undeserved death, I think, in the entire show. Maybe only next to the waiter. So next, I've got Ralph Cifaretto.
Absolutely.
Oh, with detachable wig piece for the actual piece. That can't be changed.
I love the interplay between Chris and Tony when Chris finds the hairpiece.
Because you gotta believe Tony did not always know.
Which one of them is shocked that there's a hairpiece?
Chris is shocked.
Right, and Tony's like, of course.
I know. But he says that so much in the show. But Ralph Cifaretto, what a monster. What an absolute horrible, unlovable... Him and Janice together. The least...
He is one of the worst characters in the whole show.
With one of the funniest side traits of all time. Just being obsessed by the film Gladiator. They didn't have crew cuts in ancient Rome!
And when he takes out Georgie's eye.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I can't talk about him anymore. Who you got next?
Let's see. Pat Parisi.
Pat Parisi. The cockroach survivor. The man that was so unkillable that they killed him and brought him back as a twin. That's how invincible Pat Parisi is.
The theory that you have, and we can go through it some other time, but that Pat Parisi is the mole and like arranges the worst, most cataclysmic things at the end of the series blows my mind.
Yeah, it was one of my many feverish opium dreams I have about the Sopranos and its possibilities. But Pat Parisi, man, he keeps in there, he lives out until everything goes square. He's working his way into the Soprano family.
That's right.
He has some serious progression from a man who had to take a piss in Tony's pool rather than shoot him.
And like, Tony just looks him in the eye as he just completely fucks him over time and time again.
Tell me you're over it. I can't talk about Pat Parisi anymore. Okay, I'm going to throw one at you here right now. Richie Aprile.
Richie Aprile, absolutely.
Richie, the scariest man that ever lived.
Just really serves Tony well in several ways, but also like the second big bad in the series.
Oh, he is just a terrifying character. As Tony puts it, was it your Manson lamps? He's mortifying.
And the look on his face when Janice shoots him.
And the surprise that anyone would stand up to him. But also the man with one of the greatest lines in the show, and I think you'll agree here. I did back off. Then I put it in drive. The jacket! Where's the jacket?
He hurts him so badly.
He never came back here once I got through with him.
The part with the coffee mug, the carafe.
The combination cut and burn. Alright, who you got next?
I've got Benny. Did we do Benny?
No, Benny Fazio?
Yeah, Benny Fazio.
That's another one that rises up the ranks. This is a guy, okay, yes, Benny Fazio, a boy who we first meet, I think he's just walking around with Chris after he's just made, acting like a big shot about it. In the end is the driver for the guy that pops Phil Leotardo.
Right.
Yeah, like that's a progression.
The fact that he has a fight with Artie near the end, also, like, he's meant to show how Tony's worlds are, like, officially collided and, like, inseparable at this point.
Yeah.
So he's a really important character, like, philosophically as well.
Yeah, no, I can dig him being there. I like him. Now, I want to throw out a last one here for you, okay? Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah.
How can you not?
Big Puss.
How can you not? Yeah.
Oh, God. You know what, rat or not, what a character. What an arc. What an absolutely just mortifying storyline.
Yeah.
Just hurts on so many levels. Plus, introduces us to Lisp Palreese. Listen, me, Puss. We need to put your ass back out on the street, but we're going to bring you back in, aren't we? It's my best Lisp Palreese.
For a while, I thought that cop was actually Eve from Entourage. But he's not.
Oh, no, Big Pussy Bumper Sarah. He fucked me in the ass. Oh, God. That moment where he's talking about the massage therapist he goes down on, and Tony just looks him square and says, "Hey, Puss, does she even exist?"
She don't fucking exist.
Oh. Well, that concludes our Jersey side of the board. Yep. Stay tuned when we come back to you with New York. Okay, welcome back. Well, we've done the Jersey side. Now it's time to turn to the Lupatazzi crime family. And let's get straight into it. Daniel, who's your king?
All right, well, I think Phil is the big bad of the entire series in the end. It's a contentious choice, I know, but he is the one who is... Okay, that's my choice.
I'm going to make this noise, and then I'm going to tell you why it shouldn't be Phil. Phil has been a lot of things in this show. He has been, God, at one point in the time, Phil was so lowly that Tony was able to smash him into another van.
It's true.
And hold his neck. You know, let's be quite honest here. When you think about, your traditional mafia bosses, Phil Leotardo don't really fit the mold.
I know.
He climbed to the top of a bad pile. Thing about Carmine? Carmine's always and only been a boss.
He's only ever been the king. Yeah, I have my belief about Phil. I think he's kind of the undoing of not just Tony, but like the projected image of the mafia. So that's why I think he's the big bad of the series and the choice for king, but I actually think Carmine is the way to go.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure, at least I hope so, the Queens are in the same place with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've gone Johnny Sack.
Yep, I'm going Johnny Sack as well. I don't think there's any other choice.
Who else is it going to be? Johnny Sacramone. That fish-faced, two-toed... Oh, man, what a great character.
Yep.
And he was there from the very beginning. Well, actually, no, he wasn't introduced till season 2, I think. But
yeah.
As Carmine's underboss, perfect Queen material.
The first time I remember seeing him, he was at Tony's card game. He was sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
The executive game.
And Richie gives him a slap on the face. That always bothered me. All right, so we've got Carmine Lupatazzi Sr., we've got Johnny Sack, Who you got as your bishop?
Well, I had Carmine as my bishop, and
Well, that's done, isn't it?
Yes.
Hey, that's been vetoed.
Yeah, no, that's who I had, Carmine.
Okay, so you can't have Carmine anymore. I'll tell you who I had in there. I had in Angelo Grepe.
See? It's a good choice. Explain why.
Well, you know, he was a consigliere for many years. He comes out and he's the second, he should have been in charge at one stage, but there was some issue. But I think you had another idea, didn't you?
My other bishop was Little Carmine.
See, I feel like Little Carmine's had more of an effect on the show overall.
He's super manipulative, too.
To an extent, yeah. There are some stages we have to question whether or not his stupidity is intentional or not.
I think sometimes it is, but also other times he's doing
Sometimes it's spectacular. Your brother, whatever happened there, the shooting, got rest.
He ruins everything.
Okay, so, alright, fine, we'll have Little Carmine. Oh, okay, then I'm going to throw one right in there. How about Albie?
Albie is an excellent choice. He's the nerd-looking dude.
He is. He's the consigliere Albie, who looks like he'd sell you a used Aldi.
He looks like he shouldn't be in any one scene he's in.
He looks so out of place, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I got a council here.
But he's super important.
Incredibly so. Alright, good. So we got our bishops, Little Carmine and Albie. Now, who you got in your knights?
So I'm going with Butchie as the first knight.
Oh, you gotta take Butchie.
Yeah.
You gotta take Butchie. He does the hit. He organizes the hit on Doc Santoro. All I was thinking about was him stealing the bit of food off of Phil's plate, and I couldn't picture the name.
And then he has to die.
He has to. That's the whole reason. Until then, Phil was going to follow him to the death.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Butchie. Who you got on the other night?
All right. So on my end, I got Coco as the other knight. And listen why. He makes Tony do something where he just can't cross back from that line after he does it.
This is very true. It is a very large turning point. But, unfortunately, I feel like without Phil's inclusion in any of the pieces, he's going to have to be the other knight. You know?
Yeah.
And he's a violent, aggressive individual as well. Plus, I do like the fact that him and Butchie together as the knights.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, if Phil isn't king, then he's definitely knight.
Yeah, he's not a bishop because he talks too much about how long he spent in prison.
No.
You know,
No, there's some great scenes, but he's not a bishop. Radiator grilled cheese doesn't sound that bad. I just want to put it out there.
I think any grilled cheese sounds fairly reasonable. Okay, Phil and Butchie, right. What have you got for the two rooks?
Well, I think the only icon associated with New York worth giving a damn is the Empire State Building.
You can't go too far wrong there. It's a classic, and what I love about it is the juxtaposition between the classy towers on the New York side, paralleled over to the low rent kind of satriels of Jersey,
Smokestacks.
because they're the farmers.
Yep. Lots of highways.
Exactly. You know, that's how they look down on them. So I like that. It's like a position of power being authoritative on the sides of the board.
And that really is the theme with New York. It's obvious where the power lies and like what direction it's going in at any one time.
Exactly. Tony and the rest are always playing catch up. You know how many times he says to like Chris things like, they fight, we pick up whatever scraps are left. I don't know what that was the worst Tony impression ever, but we'll go with it.
I can't do a good Tony impression either.
I can't do a good any impression. That being said, it's time to get to our pawns on the New York side. You
Also
go.
very difficult.
Give me your first set.
Fat Dom.
Fat Dom Gammiello. Dude, guy killed Vito Spatafor, then went round to see the
Bragging
boys.
about it.
Oh, and just laid into him, man. The balls on this guy.
He dies a very painful death.
He dies a monstrous death, which is more or less Carlo's fault entirely.
Yeah.
I can't even stress how little he needed to stab this man.
Oh man, even Silvio, like you can tell he's watching it all go down in slow motion, and then when he realizes it's hit the point of no return, he just joins in.
It's just, it gets to a certain line. But yeah, no, Fat Dom, definitely. That's a strong and powerful pawn to have at your side.
Yeah. My next guy is Rusty Milio.
Rusty Milio. Tiny Rusty.
Yep. Does he also look like he shouldn't be in anyone's scene, or does he look a bit more natural in that world?
No, I can believe it. I like the fact that he's believable to the point that his character is a manipulator.
Yeah.
And that he spends the entire time throughout the show just using pawns to get his way. First through little Carmine, and then, well, he's worried that he's going to use a pawn again, but the mayor of Munchkintown had to go.
The mayor of Munchkintown.
The mayor of Munchkintown had to go.
All right, who you got next?
But it leads hold on a second, because it leads that classic line when Phil meets up with Tony afterwards and says, Johnny just wants to say thank you for all the things you helping out. And Tony goes, what are you talking about? I turned that down. And Phil says, a cautious man. Some people might be hurt, but me, my heart is an open book. Okay, so we've got in Rusty Minilow. Here's who I'm going for next. I'm throwing in Jerry the Hairdo.
That's who I got too.
Jerry the Hairdo, classic name, classic character. Little confusing how he rises the ranks quite so quickly.
I think it's the hairdo.
Because we see him being made when Phil's going off about being in a room with men instead of cornholing whatevers, like what married my cousin. You know, so he a meteoric rise. I
have to say that with the Jersey guys, it's really obvious. With the New York guys, like, I barely remember most of them.
And bear in mind, he's also the other guy that kills Vito.
Right.
It's him and Fat Don Gamiello.
Right, so
they kill Vito. But Jerry's death, though, wow. That's a classic bit of Sopranos, where they're all sat at the table with Silvio Dante and he's talking, and then everything goes silent and blood splatters all over him, and he doesn't even realize what's going on for a couple of seconds. That's a hell of a scene.
Yeah.
A hell of a way out.
You were saying that every episode of The Sopranos around that time was just better than anything at the movies.
Exactly.
And that's a really good example.
Exactly. Right, who you got?
So for my next guy, I've got Billy Leotardo.
Billy Leotardo. Good character. dies in his brother's arms. Couldn't even say his last words.
It's really sad. They're awful people.
I mean, Billy does kill someone who we're going to mention in a little bit. He does kill Angelo Greco as well. He's not a nice guy. It's not like he was an innocent caught in the crossfire. He was, and I'm pretty sure that Tony Blondetto would have killed Billy anyway, even if he had have killed Phil.
Yeah.
You know, so let's get serious for a second here. He was not an innocent bystander to any of this.
No, I guess it's just the way he died.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next guy is Angelo Garepe.
Angelo Garepe. He couldn't make it into the big leagues, but now he's down here with the pawns. That's because he's an old guy. I don't see too good in the dark.
It's 2 a.m.
Angelo Grepe could have been the head of the crime family in New York, but because of some beef he had down in Philadelphia, it just didn't pan out that way.
And like by the time he's in that thing, he's like early bird specialing it. Like he's real old.
When he sits down with Tony and everyone else to have the conversation, he starts explaining how much he's enjoying spending time with his granddaughter.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. He's not a man that's still cut out for the business.
No,
he's tired. He's old. He wants to run through a bit-piece sketch comedy with Tony Blondetto occasionally at inappropriate times, like when discussing hits.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that. I'm also going to throw an interesting one here. Not technically a member of the family, but certainly an associate. Lorraine Caluzzo.
I've got her too. For me, that was like a shock one in the sense that I remembered that she was like an associate with the family. She's really, really important. And she makes for some very funny scenes.
She does. Now the question is though, do we have her stood there by herself, or do we have the imposing figure of Jason behind her?
Her boyfriend.
Jason. What am I asking you for? You probably taught her how to do it.
Oh man. Yeah, so I think Lorraine is like a really good entry. Kind of changes things up. Not everybody's just in a suit.
No, it's true. There was zero. She makes it to the distinction of being the only woman on the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go you, Lorraine.
Yeah, I think one day we're gonna do like a family one as well, because I think there's enough juice in this show to get like a few iterations
Some
out of it.
AJ, some Meadows, you know.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay,
We're almost done.
who you got next?
Well, the person I had next was Albie, and I agreed with you putting him in on the back line, so that was my next guy. Oh, yes, so there's Coco.
Yeah, because he didn't make it into the final top line, but he definitely deserves a space on the board.
He does.
He's a big instigator, and plus one of the most hideous scenes.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge which is worse, that or American History X.
Yeah, it's
They're
that
both ferociously. Ugh.
Yeah, the one in American History X is worse because he's a Nazi, but
No, I'm talking about terms of pure, like, sound and,
yeah,
like, visceral moments.
really felt those teeth come out and then hit the floor.
Well, the question is, do we have his piece smiling with, like, 2 or 3 teeth in there?
Yes.
Okay, good. Done. The design for Coco is finished.
Is it insinuating that he's dead, by the way?
No. It definitely doesn't insinuate that he's dead.
Because I could never really.
No, I
get a
don't. I
read
don't
on
think
that.
at any stage they insist that he's dead. Okay,
Okay.
we've got 1 space left, and I think it should go.
Doc. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Doc Santoro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be on there.
He's the last piece, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's just an absolutely vile character.
He really is.
Really horrible. When he's telling Phil, you tell them personally that I'm very disappointed. He's just a gutless, horrible little wretch of a man. All tall and thin and young and pretty. And everybody wants him dead.
It's also that for me, I know you're a way bigger Sopranos fan than me. I do love The Sopranos. He's the last character on the New York side where I recognize his name. It gets
It's a good name.
real obscure after that.
It's a good name. Doc Santoro.
Yeah, man.
20 years for what? Doc Santoro? Rusty Minilow? Oh, fantastic.
So it would be very different, I think, if we did. So that's our board.
Oh yeah, there's another board down. Rack it up, get it made. Someone send us some money.
Yeah. I really had fun doing this. It was strategic. It was a challenge. I think we can probably come up with a very different arrangement if we include the family characters that aren't in just the mob universe. But this
True, because I am ready for Anthony Infante, the moron marrying Johnny Sack's daughter, and I'm ready.
the marzipan.
And I'm ready for Jenny Sack.
Oh,
I'm ready for Jenny Sack to be the Rook.
oh man, that's perfect.
Was that offensive? I'm going to back away from that statement.
I'm excited to have Adriana on there.
Oh, classics.
Right? There's so many characters that because they're
Lisp
not in the mob,
Paris. We're going to have Lisp on there.
you know.
Artie Buka? Okay, we should stop giving this away for free here. Jeez. Might as well carry on. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. This has been Checkmates. Again, my name's Nick.
My name's Daniel.
Until next time, something funny with the words check in it.
We'll check you later.
Oh, I love it. Check you later.